Very much, John, and good morning from Cambridge, everybody. As John has said, my name is Julian Davies. I'm the principal here at Abbey College Cambridge, and I'm delighted that you can join us for this virtual open morning. The technology allows us to meet across the world to learn more about Abbey Cambridge, and that's what you should expect from us this morning, is to be informed a little bit more about what we do, why we do it, and how that might help you. I really appreciate that choosing a school for the next part of your education, if you're a student or the parent of a student, or you're helping these decisions, if you're an agent or a guardian, it's a difficult decision. There are many good schools across the world, and there are particularly many good schools in the UK. We're very famous for education here in the UK, and I'm sure that's part of why you're looking in the UK to further your education at a high school level and then go on to university, perhaps in the UK. There are some very, very good universities here, of course. So it's a difficult decision, and I fully understand that. So I hope what you get this morning is a little bit more from us to help with this decision-making process. So first of all, about me, I am the principal. I've been the principal here for 20 years when we get to August this year. So I have a lot of experience in Abbey College Cambridge. And what we do in Abbey College Cambridge, it's quite a special mission we have, a special goal, and it's to help ambitious students from all over the world, literally all over the world, to come to England to do extremely well in their academic studies in this beautiful new campus, well looked after by the staff here, being taught in small classes of amazing students with inspiring teachers, being guided to university, and then moving on to that university very well prepared for an amazing degree and an amazing career. So we take ambitious students and we help them get to great universities. That's what Abbey College is for. It's a bit of a specialist college because we are really preparing mostly international students. This is something we've been doing for many years. In fact, almost since I joined as principal 20 years ago, we've specialized. So that's a very important part of understanding what we are. We have literally built the school that I'm sitting in today for the education of international students. It's a specialism. What does that mean? Well, it means many things. But overall, it means that we are looking to help people like you. You wouldn't be coming to a school which has students who've been studying here since they were 11 years old or 7 years old or even 3 years old. There are other schools in England that have students who've been there all that time for you to then join perhaps when you're 15 or 16 or 17. In Abbey, it's different. You join the school and everybody else joins at the same time that starts your course. So you will be a new student in this new school for you, with everybody else being new. And we think that's a really good way of coming to a new environment in the UK and coming to a new school, because what it means, you will make friends with people much more quickly because everybody's in the same situation. So it's a great advantage. So the specialism, it means that we are waiting for you. When you arrive, we'll be at the airport. If you'd like for us to meet you at the airport, we'll meet you there. We'll be waiting at the boarding house, which, by the way, is part of this campus right here. We'll be inducting you into what life in England is like, what life in Abbey is like. We'll be doing activities to help you make friends, help you settle in. And then we start this amazing academic journey. Let me tell you a bit more about the amazing academic journey. I'm going to introduce what we do, because following on from me in a few minutes, you're going to be listening to Andy Humphreys, who is our Vice Principal Academic, and his job is to run the education in the school. Let me tell you a little bit about the education in the school, because it's very dear to my heart and it is our central purpose. We have some of the best teachers you could ever imagine teaching you in England. The reason I say that is because over these 20 years, I have chosen every single one. And I've chosen them because they want to teach ambitious students from all over the world. and help them get to good universities. In other words, everybody you meet in the classroom wants to help you on your journey, and they've chosen that. And we know that they can teach extremely well because we wouldn't have chosen them otherwise. It's a great place to work. So I've got a huge choice of teachers to pick whenever there's a vacancy. So it means the teachers you'll meet here are really very strong. Subject knowledge will be extremely good of those teachers. Many have been to the top universities. Many of those teachers also are so interested in their subject, they've done further qualifications, as I have. I did a PhD beyond my degree. Many of our teachers also have PhDs and masters, and many have gone to universities such as Oxford and Cambridge, UCL and Imperial, and the very top here in the UK. That gives you another great advantage as a new student to the country perhaps, or a new student to Abbey. Those teachers have been to the universities that I imagine you're trying to get to. So your maths teacher may well have gone to Cambridge University. We have many maths teachers here, by the way. It's a very strong department. What that means is when you're trying to make your application and start the process, you're going to be surrounded by staff who've done this themselves. They've gone to those universities, so they know how you can get in. Now, Andy will tell you there's quite a lot more about the university application process, but it is a key part in our minds of the journey that you have with us. Okay, so I mentioned the academic side of the school is very, very strong. You'll have these inspiring teachers. You'll be in class sizes of about 10 on average. But let me show you what the school actually looks like. So I'm going to share my screen with you because I think it's quite nice to see actually what the school looks like. So hopefully you can see a title there. This is the school. So to introduce you to Abbey College, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't show you this fantastic new campus. So I mentioned I've been here for 20 years. In 2016, we completed our new campus. So quite recently, and we built it, we designed it, and it's built on the University of Cambridge land. We're next door to the University of Cambridge. In all directions, you look around, we're surrounded by academia at the highest level. The University of Cambridge buildings are all around us. That's our campus, or at least part of our campus. What you're looking at there, you can see the white area is the big teaching area. Facing across the courtyard, another teaching block. So we've got two large teaching blocks. We've got a gymnasium, we've got a sports hall, library, common room, dining room, and 4 boarding houses, 3 of which are right on campus, one of which is in this image here. So the important part about seeing this image is that, as I mentioned, it's purpose-built for international students by us. I don't think there are many schools that can say that, actually. There are very few schools I'm aware of that actually have been built for international students 5.5 years ago from the specification from the head teacher and his team. We designed this school ourselves. What that means for you is you'll be living on campus. You might be living, if you're 14, 15, 16 years old, in the boarding house that's part of the building I'm in right now. So the boarding house called Abbey House, which means you'll be living in the building where part of it is your boarding area where you'll be with your friends. The other part is where the school is. So it's literally on the corridor with secure doors that only you will be allowed to go through with your pass. You'll be living above the library, above the dining room, 3 minutes away from the sports hall. We're also located next to a big sports centre, literally next door to the college. So I think before I pass on to Andy, I'd just like to sort of recap what I think we are. And that's an international school specialising in helping ambitious students. We understand your background and your needs. We will welcome you to this country if it's your first time here. And you'll be educated together on a campus in the city of Cambridge, around the University of Cambridge, with students who are like you, who are ambitious, and you'll be taught by some of the best teachers you will ever have. I can guarantee you that. And I think just to close it, you will enjoy this experience because you will be inspired by those around you, the students. Imagine studying with students who are as ambitious as you are, students who also want to go to Cambridge University or study medicine or go to LSE for economics. You'll be with those people, surrounded by those students, and you'll be taught by those inspiring, amazing teachers. Okay, before I pass on to Andy, I would like to just very quickly mention the outcomes. I'll spin over this because I've talked about all of that, because this is quite important. It is what we help our students achieve, which is going to top universities. That's really the outcome that we aim for, because we know that's what students want. So for the top universities, you can see the numbers there over the last couple of years, including the numbers going to medicine. So if you like, that's the proof that Abbey College does what we aim to do, which is help amazing, ambitious students get to top universities. So a very important way that we do this is by our education programs, the education philosophy. You're probably picking up philosophy from me, which is that we like ambition, we like small classes, we like motivated, fantastic, highly qualified teachers. Andy now will tell you a little bit more about the academic programs, how we prepare you, because as you probably know, getting into universities like Cambridge and LSE and UCL, getting into medicine is very hard. It's not just about your academic results. You also have to prove to the university that you're a better student than somebody else who may have the same grades as you. So that's competitive. And Andy Humphreys is going to talk to you about how we help prepare you for that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to say good morning, Andy Humphreys. Andy is sitting literally behind the wall. Andy, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you, Julian. Good morning and welcome everybody. So my name is Andy Humphreys and I am the Vice Principal Academic here at Abbey College, Cambridge. It is my responsibility, as Julian said, to lead the school's academic work and to ensure that you as future students make excellent progress and attain outstanding academic results so that we can deliver you to some of the best universities in the world right here in the UK, and quite possibly, as you've just seen from Julian's slides, here in Cambridge. So I would like to take a few minutes this morning to tell you a little bit more about how we do prepare you for your future academic careers and how we ensure success here at Abbey Cambridge. So let me just show you this. Here we are. And you should be seeing my main screen here, and that is me. And Julian mentioned passion. Julian said that passion was the key here for success. And that's absolutely the case. We believe that passion is the key to all of your success. And it drives your ambition and it fuels what's going on inside you and in that community that Julian referred to, where you do have students surrounding you that are passionate about progress to the best universities in the world. And you do have teachers that are passionate about their subjects and care deeply about their subjects and continue to learn themselves in their subjects. We believe that if you do not have the passion for what you are doing at any stage in your life, you will not meet with the same degree of success as if you were passionate about it. So I guess the question is, what structures do we provide here to help support and develop your passions? So we call this the Trinity of Excellence. It's our...
Andy, just to stop you for 1 second, we can't see your screen, can't see your presentation, so it might just not be sharing.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Let's have a look at fixing that. Sorry, guys. Are you just stuck looking at me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, let's just get that back on then. It's the problem perhaps of multiple screens. Let's try
Should be,
screen
there
three.
should be a share screen button just down the bottom there, hopefully. There we go. I think it's working now.
Okay, and let's just double check. Have you got the main screen there, the launched slideshow?
Yes, I can see the ACC Trinity of Excellence.
Okay, and you're not looking at any PowerPoint nonsense in the background. Okay.
Oh, hang on, we've just lost your main PowerPoint, I think. We had it there a minute ago. Now I can see it again. There we go.
Okay, so let's see if we can fix that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, is that a bit better?
That's perfect.
Okay, so anyway, as we were saying, thank you, John. This is our Trinity of Excellence. It's our three-tiered approach to your life here at Abbey College, Cambridge. And at its core, at the center there, are the academic results. We strongly believe that without the academic excellence that we provide you with through that careful curation and selection of incredible teaching staff and through the development of your passion, that we can't get you to university without these great results. And you know that because you know that the universities require fantastic results. So our work to ensure your results is at the very heart of what we do. Occasionally neglected by students who don't quite identify its importance is English language mastery. And we see this as an incredibly important part of your journey towards university, not only because mastery of the English language will help you achieve those academic results by being able to fully access the courses and the questions that you're asked in your examinations, but also because as you progress to university, the complexity and the diversity of language that you encounter will increase exponentially. And therefore, our job is also to prepare your language for university too. And the third area is something bespoke and unique to Abbey, and it's our program of elite university preparation. I'd like to take a few minutes just to run through some of the components that make up this program. And some of it you may be very familiar with from your existing schools or other schools that you may have considered in terms of the university application support and the support with your personal statements and interview and admissions testing preparation. There are some areas that we offer that are unique to Abbey. And I'd like to take a few minutes just to talk through each of these to give you an understanding of how we can progress you on your journey and, coming back to our theme of passion, develop your ambition and sustain your passions throughout your time here. So one of our first areas is what we call Abbey Inspires. And of course, the purpose of our inspiration or our attempts at inspiration are to continue your development and to continue your ambition and passion. What we offer are a series of very unique evening lectures taking place after your dinner time in the evenings across the college, led by staff as well as industry specialists brought in to speak, guest speakers. And we provide always changing, always relevant conversations, dialogues, lectures around undergraduate concepts, simply delivered at an appropriate level for students that will help you understand what's going on in your subject area. If you're a passionate economist, we will be focusing on what's going on in the world right now. If you're a historian, again, we'll be looking at how history can teach us and take us forward. And all of these are not found in the textbook. These lectures are unique and they are developed by our staff who, as Julian said a few minutes ago, are genuinely interested in developing their own practice and their own understanding. And they are so passionate about their subject that they want to share what they've been reading and what they've been learning with you as well. And this, of course, directly contributes to your success at university, because this will enable you, in part, to develop wonderful personal statements and to engage in convincing and genuine argument and dialogue at interview. The pre-degree diploma takes this even further, and this is a unique university preparation course which all students in year 12, the first year of the A-level, will engage in. And this program will be chosen by you. So if you are an economist, you will dive into the economics pre-degree diploma. If you're a mathematician, but perhaps you're interested more in engineering, then you'll move into the engineering diploma, but you'd have the choice of maths or engineering. And all of the learning that takes place every week throughout year 12 will be focused not on what's happening in the textbook, not on what you need for your A-level, but what you need for your next stage and what you need to hopefully spark and kindle your passion and your desire to study and learn more about your subject area. Now, moving into a bit more of a specialist area, one thing that we are exceptionally good at, and we have built experience and competency in over many, many years, is our medicine program. We have a very unique medicine preparation program here at Abbey College Cambridge, which is built by our staff, our specialist staff, and developed with university support as well. We have worked closely with the academic leads at several universities to develop a program that we know works. This includes 5 taught hours per week from the second term of year 12. So we'll start this program very early, and it will continue all the way through to the end of the A-level program. And within these 5 hours per week, there'll be extensive admissions testing preparation, the BMAT or UK CAT, or interview preparation, extended reading around subjects such as biochemistry or genetic diseases, which you wouldn't necessarily cover in the A-levels, but that you would need as a future doctor. We'll also support you in getting work experience programs, incredibly important for medicine, and support to applying at not only UCAS, UK universities, but also overseas universities, which offer some fantastic medicine programs. Now, of course, that only is relevant if you're interested in medicine, but another program that many of you may be interested in is our Oxbridge candidate program. And this is similar to the medic program, designed specifically for those students wishing to progress to Oxford or Cambridge. Now, of course, we know that progressing to Oxford or Cambridge is incredibly challenging. It's very competitive. The simple stat there that actually most students, 78%, do meet the grade requirements, but only 7% of candidates are accepted for economics and management at Oxford. Now, of course, that varies between the colleges and, of course, the programs. But I think you get the idea that if you are thinking about going to Oxbridge, probably only 1 in 10 will make that next step. And we want to do everything that we can to ensure that you may become that 1 in 10. So what do we offer? Well, first of all, we believe that early identification is the key to success at Oxbridge. In order to be successful in an Oxford or Cambridge application, you need to completely change the way that you view education. You need to challenge your education, question what you're being taught and what you're being told. And it will be that passion that you have for your subject that we will help develop and steer, that will lead you to the questions and then lead you, possibly independently, to the answers to those questions. So the early identification is absolutely key because it enables us to nudge and steer the way that you think about your education. And by identifying your desires early, we can help deliver on that throughout a 2-year program. We do have a very specialist program in partnership with another organization, our very carefully selected partners called Leading Education. You can Google them if you like. And they have expanded our capacity and enabled us to deliver more of what we know Oxford and Cambridge are looking for. Oxford and Cambridge are looking for students that do challenge, who are thirsty for knowledge, passionate about what's going on. And we will develop that through an extended program of reading, where tutors, based on the subject that you are thinking of applying to, where tutors will hold you to account. Have you done your reading? What do you think about the key themes? And we will slowly but surely develop your independent thinking. You'll have a high volume of interview and admissions testing, and you'll have meetings one-to-one and in small groups with either current Oxbridge students, graduates of Oxbridge, or staff that have worked in admissions. They're a highly qualified and highly credible organization, and they've been doing wonderful things with our students. And perhaps in the future, they'll do wonderful things with you too. And that is a quick spin through what we call our Trinity of Excellence. Now, it's a lot. Being excellent is hard work, and it may seem daunting. And I like to share this image at the start of every year for all of our students, because this genuinely is your journey. You just need to make sure that you take it one step at a time and stop to ask for directions and make sure you're going the right way so that you are heading up the stairs and not down. And you're on the right stairs and you're on the right pathway because you're here this morning. And we hope that you'll be able to take the next steps with us and see you in September. I think any questions are being held for the end. So for now, that's it from me. And thank you very much. John, I'll pass back to you.
Thank you, Andy. At this point, I'd like to bring in one of our current students. So Daliao, are you there? Can you turn your camera on and unmute?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Daliao. Hello. Thank you for helping and agreeing to talk to us today. So you're in year 13, which is your final year of studies. If you can, just tell us a little bit about what you're studying and kind of what your ambitions are post Abbey.
All right, this is my second year in Abbey College Cambridge. I'm studying 3 A levels. I'm studying English literature, politics, and art and design. And my ambition for the future would be to study international relations and hopefully become a diplomat. That's like the end goal.
Wow. And what's it like in the classrooms? What's the environment like here? And how does that maybe compare to what you've experienced before or at home?
The classrooms are really small. So there's like, in most of my classrooms, it's around 4 to 6 people. So every student has in a way an individual approach. The teacher approaches them. If they have a problem, like they ask questions. And in comparison to my old studies in other countries, I lived in UAE and I also lived in Russia. The classrooms were much bigger and some students would get shy to answer or to talk to the teacher. So I feel like students here are much more prioritized and focused on individually. So even if you don't understand something, like you would understand it by the end of the class when you leave the classroom.
Excellent. So there's a lot of interaction between students and the teacher because of those little small class sizes. That's great. And what's it like being in an international school, you know, studying with students from around the world? There are 50 nationalities at Abbey Cambridge.
It's quite interesting because every culture and every nationality has a different approach, but I feel like it also prepares you for the actual adult world because you get to experience how to talk to different people, get an insight on why they think the certain way they think. They have different views. For example, for politics, they have different political views. They debate in a different way. And it just makes you more open-minded. And I would say that, yeah.
Excellent. So Andy talked a little bit about kind of preparation for university, and you kind of you're going through this at the moment. So which PDD program are you on, and kind of how has that helped you with your university application and selection?
I took business for my PDD program, and I did not have any expectations at first. But when I started taking the program and when I actually joined and the courses started, I found it genuinely very something that you notice, for example, with businesses that are all over the world, and you could use that knowledge to your advantage, not only just now in studies, but in the future, once you graduate and even get a job, go out of university, you can still use that knowledge. And you also collaborate with other people and they share their views and you make friends that way. And I would say overall it was a really good experience. It definitely gave me a look on how my future life could be and what direction it can go in.
Excellent. And did you attend any of the Abbey Inspires events?
Yes, I did attend Abbey Inspires. They were not necessarily related to the classes that I take. They were more broad. I took history, I took another biology, physics, just for my own knowledge, just to have like an understanding of other subjects that I do not take that are also interesting. And I learned a lot of new information for myself, like general knowledge, genuinely, that I did use, for example, for my English literature course, and I did use for my future politics course, even though it's like an outside information, like history, for example, it still links with everything. And the way the teachers that presented it was also really interesting and engaging because they ask student questions, students interact with them. And I think overall, it's a really good opportunity for the current students in Abbey.
Thanks, Dalia. That's really interesting actually to hear that, because you know, this idea that you can attend sessions that are outside of your subject areas and kind of learn and broaden your knowledge, I think is a really, really useful kind of opportunity to have, you know, the interconnectivity of subjects and in the world we live in nowadays. So it's interesting to hear you talk about that. I think what we're going to do, Dalia, you're going to come back later and just tell us a little bit about life in the college after we've passed over to Helen Walker, who's our Director of Boarding, who's just going to tell us a little bit more about the life in boarding and around the school. Hello, Helen. I'll pass over to you.
Hello, as John said, my name is Helen Walker and I'm the Director of Boarding here at Abbey College. It is wonderful to have the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I'm here just to talk a little bit about the pastoral care here at Abbey College, how we look after our students here. Now, as my colleagues have said, we expect ambitious students. We know that you come here to get the best education that you can, to go on to one of the top universities. But we also know that you can't do that unless you're healthy and you're happy, that you're well looked after, that you're developing all of the skills that you need to become strong, independent young adults. And that's the role of the pastoral team. We do take it very seriously. We take the responsibility very seriously, and we're very proud of the service we offer. So how do we do it? What do we do? When you arrive at the college, you are placed into a house. We have a house system. Now, anybody that's heard of or seen Harry Potter will know what a house system is. We have one of those. So our whole school is one big community, but we break that down into smaller communities, our houses. You'll be placed into a house, and within that house, you will have a tutor. Your tutor is a very important person to you. They will meet with you every single morning, Monday to Friday, to check in with you, to make sure that you're okay, to share information from the school to you, and to answer any questions you may have. So that's every day you will check in with them, and you will get to know them very well and very quickly. Lots of tutor groups make up your house. About 60 students altogether are in one house together. You will also live together. So you get to know these people very well. They become your friends, and some of them will become your friends for life. In charge of that house will be your housemaster. They're another very important person. They oversee the house. They make sure that everybody within their house is developing academically well, that they're really striving and pushing themselves, that they're taking advantage of all the opportunities that are put their way, like going to the Abbey Inspires, making sure that people are attending and know about all of these things, and also helping them to develop those skills that I was talking about, learning more about what it is like to be an adult in the world, those sorts of soft skills. Your housemaster will also be talking every week, very regularly, with your boarding house, so that they know that you're getting on well in your English home, in your school, and academically. So all areas of your life are covered. In your boarding house, so the people that look after you in the evenings and the weekend and at holidays, if you stay with us during the holidays, your boarding team, they're made up of a group of house parents. You will have a particular house parent that looks after you specifically. They will get to know you again very, very well, and they work very closely with your tutor. So if you're having any issues, then your tutor and your house parent can work together to help you resolve those issues and support you with those issues. They'll also make sure that you're having lots of fun here. We want you to work incredibly hard. You need to work hard to get to where you want to go. But we want you to enjoy this process. We want you to love it here. So we make sure we have lots of events and activities on for you. This weekend, we have 2 whole house trips going. We've got one going to a theme park, Thorpe Park, to have fun together. And we have another trip going to the zoo. Over the Easter holidays, we had a catalogue of activities on go-karting, arts and crafts, all sorts of things. So there's always things that students can get involved in, learn new skills and meet new friends. In the boarding house, like I say, you have a group of house parents. You also have somebody that runs your boarding house, your head of house. They oversee the whole smooth running of the house and making sure that everything is as it should be for you. They're always on hand to answer any questions. Your boarding team are available to you night and day. There is always people living in the boarding houses with you, always available to you. So you are never alone, and there is always an adult available to support you or answer any questions you may have. Aside from your tutor and your house staff and then your boarding staff, we have a matron who's available for health issues. We have counsellors within the school as well. But we also have a very important group of people called the student ambassadors. They are students themselves. They are with you at Abbey College Cambridge. They're more experienced. They've lived with us for a little while longer, and they can really help and be very approachable for new students, answering questions and helping them settle in, translate if necessary, all sorts of things to help you settle in here and help make sure you enjoy your time here. We have over 50 clubs available for you to join, and we encourage all of you to sign up to a club or 2. You don't have to sign up for the year. You can do one term trying something, another term trying another. You could be very sporty, and we have lots of sports clubs and facilities available for you if you are. If you're not so sporty, we've got lots of academic clubs to really push and stretch you in that direction. And then we've got things like debate clubs to help you with your English or drama or art, or there are loads of clubs. There'll be something for you. If there isn't, highly unlikely, but if there isn't and there is something that you're interested in, all you need to do is say. We set up new clubs with your help, with your interest, to make sure that we can provide that for you. Like I said, we are very proud of what we do. We know how important your health and your happiness is. And we think we do a fantastic job. And we know that because students stay in touch. Students want to stay in touch with us. There won't be a day that goes by without an ex-student getting back in contact with the school, just checking in, just saying hello, just sharing what they're doing. Every year we have an alumni get together and a big event, a big meal, and we invite past students to come back so we can see them all again. And we get so many students that want to come. It's really lovely. Once you join this community, you are with us forever, the rest of your life. We want to know how you're getting on. We care about how you're getting on. So we're excited about the possibility of meeting you. We hope to see you in September. Thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Helen. That was great. Hopefully everyone can see me again. Dalia, if you'd like to come back in a moment, just sort of picking up on some of those elements that Helen was talking about. You're in, an interesting situation that you've actually, I think, lived in 2 boarding houses and been members of 2 different houses. So just give us a little bit of your experience of the house system and kind of how that worked within boarding and how you found it.
Well, last year was my first year here in Cambridge, and I stayed in Abbey accommodation, which is physically in the school. It's just higher floors. And I really enjoyed the experience. The rules were a bit more strict because Abbey has younger students that need more care and need to look after. But I thought it was really convenient because you literally wake up, go downstairs, you have all of your classes there, you have the canteen. It's very convenient. Everything is nearby. There is a common room on every floor. So the communities are like a bit like separated floor by floor, which are divided by gender, obviously. And I found the experience really good. I found it really fun. I enjoyed my time a lot. Now I'm staying in Purbeck, which is for older students. The rooms are much bigger. We have a little kitchen. We have a fridge where we can cook, make food, and overall be more independent. It's a bit similar to like how actually uni life and adult life would be. And all of the house parents are really friendly. They're really welcoming. Most of the students that I know in both accommodations are close friends with their house parents. They talk to them, they catch up. Sometimes they have coffee mornings where they just chat and talk about life. And I would say overall, boarding houses, all of them, are really safe because they ensure curfew for their students, which I think is a good thing because at a certain time, for example, night checks, we get a knock on our door to make sure that we're safe, we're well, we're in our rooms, and that everything is well. And the fact that a house parent or a member of staff always stays in the accommodation and is available 24/7 is also a really good thing, because if someone feels unwell or they have a problem or an issue of whatever case, they can ring a call and they know that they're not alone in a country, they're not abandoned. Someone always will look after them and offer them the support they need. And it feels nice, especially like I was also a new student once. Everyone is a new student at some point in their lives. And to know that you have that extra support offered is a really reassuring thing.
Thanks, Delia. That's great to hear your experience. Obviously, Cambridge is a city that's well known throughout the world. What's it like studying in Cambridge as an international student? How do you find it?
Cambridge is a relatively small city, but it's also really safe. And it's one of the safest, I would say, in the UK, and one of the safest places I've personally lived in through my life. And the nature here is beautiful. There's a lot of parks, there's a lot of cafes, there's a lot of places to go out to on the weekends, and everything is pretty close to everything. So it would take around like a 40-minute walk to go to the center and to find everything. It's really easy to navigate, so you won't get lost regardless where you are. And the people here are really friendly as well. During winter, there's kind of an event taking place. There's a winter park that brings all of like the rides, the ice rink, and that was like one of the highlights that I personally experienced. It was really fun. It was something that you don't do every day. And overall, I would say it's a nice place to stay in. It's definitely safe. It's reassuring. You know that when you go out, everything will be okay with you, which I feel like is an important thing for all of the upcoming students and their parents, because one of the most important things is safety, and you know that you will be safe here and looked after.
Brilliant. That's great to hear. Cambridge is small, but there's lots to do. Obviously, it's not a huge city, but it has a good combination, and you're very close to places like London as well. So obviously, Helen talked a little bit about the extracurricular clubs. What clubs have you been involved in, and how did you find those?
I have been involved in yoga club, dance club, and a few other sport activity clubs, as well as the debate club. And I found them really interesting because when you're a new student and you join a club, right, you don't know many people, they don't know you, and it's a really good bonding experience because, for example, if you're in a debate club, you talk to people, you get to know them, and at the end of the day, you become friends. And some of these friends, again, as Helen said, like you stay with them for life and they become really close people. And I would say my personal favorite so far was yoga club, just because it's after all of the classes and you get your mind off things and you relax and you focus on your well-being as well. And for me, I'm a student ambassador of many kinds: well-being ambassador, student leadership team, student council, boarding ambassador. And I feel like not only is it important to look after your physical well-being, mental well-being is just as important, if not even more important. And here in Abbey College, all teachers, students, and staff pay attention to it. So it genuinely matters to them how a student is feeling, not just physically, as in like they're not sick or injured, but in a way that they're happy. And when you're happy and you don't have any worries, your academic progress also goes better, because you have more time to focus on the things that are important without any other external worries, because you're looked after well.
That's great to hear. And I think having those interests outside of your studies is really important for students, to develop your, to relax, I suppose. You just mentioned the student council there. That's the final thing I just wanted to ask you about. Just tell me a little bit about your role in the student council and how you find that. I suppose for someone who's interested in studying international relations and politics, it's quite interesting.
I would say it's really interesting because, again, it's the leadership role. And it wasn't always easy with my experience, because we have a group of people that is a student leadership team. There are 6 girls this year, and everyone has different leadership styles. Everyone functions in a different way, and we have to find like common ground, split tasks and responsibilities. We organized a lot of events this year with student council and student leadership team. We organized the winter fair. We're organizing spring fair that's coming up. We helped set up Valentine's Day and so on. So the organization of the events, as well as running the assemblies, public speaking, and etc., it makes you more open-minded. A lot of people were shy in the beginning of the year. Now they're really well spoken. They don't have an issue going in front of the assembly, for example, and giving a public speech. They're much more comfortable with themselves. And with some people that I talked to, it really helped them with their university interviews, because they felt more comfortable speaking to people that they didn't speak to before and making public speeches, which made them more confident with themselves, which I feel like is a good thing, because once you have the base, it really stays for life with you. It doesn't really go away anywhere. And I feel like it was definitely a really good experience for me that I really enjoyed as well, and made a lot of new friends along the way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dalia. That's great to hear. I think what we're going to do, we've got a few questions that have come in. If everyone wants to just turn their cameras on, and maybe not unmute, but just so we can see you, or just we'll see if we can put any questions. One question actually, Dalia, Dennis answered which year you were in. So you're in year 13 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in year 13, the last year.
You're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
so Dennis just asked which year you're in. Okay, yeah, so that's your final year of A levels. So
yeah,
you'll be moving on to university. I think one thing, this is the first time I've ever tried to do this, but one of the attendees has put their hand up, and I think I can allow them to speak. So bear with me if this doesn't work, but let me just see if I can allow Linda. Linda, can you talk? I think you're muted at the moment, but you should be able to unmute and ask us your question. Technically, that may not have worked. But Linda, I have allowed you to talk, so you might be able to ask us a question. Before hopefully Linda can join in and ask that, like I said, the first time I've tried it. One of the questions we've had come through is how many students in each grade? So that might just be a question for someone like Julian or Andy. Just how many students are there in the school, and how does it split between the kind of year groups?
I can jump in. So
Thanks,
there are currently 400 students in the school. The year groups, in terms of increasing numbers of students, I'll do it that way. So we have what's called pre-program or pre-sessional students studying largely English with other primer subjects. There's about 30 students on that year group. We have GCSE courses, year 10 and year 11, so it's 2-year GCSE, and a specialist 1-year GCSE program. And in total, that's probably about 50 students in year 10 and year 11. Then we come into A-level, which is year 12 and year 13. The vast majority of the remaining students are doing A-level, split equally between lower 6 and upper 6, year 12 and year 13. And we have an alternative year 13 program here called Foundation. And there are currently about 60 students doing the Foundation course. So that gives you the breakdown across the academic curricula of the 400 children.
Thank you, Julian. That's great. We've had another question. I think this one's probably for Andy on the academic side of things. Guys, just ask, when does the Oxbridge candidate program, when does selection for that take place? I suppose for a student who would be joining us in September.
So after the students join in September, around about October, November, we begin to determine who is an Oxbridge student or candidate. And in January of the first year, so after about 3 months in the college, we will then begin the program. And that begins with some face-to-face group interviews with our leading education partners, as well as a bit of a breakdown of exam results. We'll have our first exam in the December of that first term, and we start using that information to put together a list of students that we think may be successful in this program. And students are openly invited to apply for the program. And as of, what date are we on now? The 20th. As of about 3 weeks ago, the first knowledge building sessions took place for students that were successful on this year's new intake of students. So it's about a 2-month program from start to finish in terms of selection, and it kicks off at the end of March.
Thank you, Andy. We had another question sort of related to university progression before the session. We were just asked kind of if a student wanted to study finance at university, what kind of subjects, I presume we're talking A-level, but you may want to talk about foundation, what kind of subjects would we recommend? And I suppose as well, you know, we can talk a little bit about kind of the PDD, how that would fit in with that program.
Yeah, sure. So there's at least 2 routes in there through our sixth form programs. There's either the A-level program, as you mentioned, where maths, business, accounting, economics would be the subjects to look at, although it should be noted that not all universities like the combination of business and economics due to the similarity and the crossover in the subject area. So that's certainly one option, and would be the classic route in, although it should be pointed out that there aren't really any prerequisite subjects for finance. Maths is pretty much the only go-to subject that you'd need. And in terms of the foundation program, well, that would be our business management program that students would want to take for that, which is perfectly designed for students that wish to progress into either management, economics, or finance. And over a quarter of the students on that program do progress onto a finance-related degree at a Russell Group university. In fact, in terms of Russell Group overall, 2/3 of the foundation students do move on to Russell Group University. So it's an excellent alternative. And then in terms of the pre-degree diploma, which was also part of the question there, it would be the management program. But we do also have an accounting pre-degree diploma and an economics pre-degree diploma. And to be honest, going back to that idea of driving your passion and your ambition being fueled, you could pick any of those 3 and you'd be absolutely fine.
Thank you, Andy. That's great. I should also say as well, I've posted a link in the chat on the right hand side there to some more information on the website, which just talks through kind of that journey through the A-level program into foundation or sticking on the A-levels, and how we kind of manage that journey towards university as well. So there's some information there on the website, and obviously do ask us. Please do post any final questions. We're going to finish up in a couple of minutes. There's a question that I'll answer, which was just about the application process. It's very, very straightforward. Basically, you can apply online. You can apply through an agent in your own country if you have an agent, and it's an online application form. Once we receive that, we will ask for some documentation. and providing that everything is correct, we will arrange an interview. So you would have an interview with someone like Andy or Julian, and based on the outcome of that interview, we would issue you an offer. There would also be an English requirement as well. So it's a very straightforward process. It can happen all online from your home country. And we obviously have members of our team based around the world who can also assist you with that as well. So just look online and you'll see the apply button there, or speak to your agent in your country and they'll be able to guide you through that very, very easily. We also provide a large level of visa support as well for our students. Thank you. I think we've got one question there. Which subjects would be tested in the Oxbridge candidate programme? So I suppose that's one for Andy.
Sure. So in terms of testing directly, we'd use student results from whatever A-level program they happen to be studying at the end of the first term. So that would be completely dependent on whatever subjects the students were studying. And in terms of the admissions testing, we break it down into a STEM subject and a humanity subject admissions tests. So the humanities covers everything from history to politics to economics. And then the STEM subjects are looking at the sciences and the maths, with optional sections within that STEM paper for whether you are a biologist, a physicist, a chemist, etc.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andy. I think that's kind of the time today. I don't think we can get Linda to unmute or be able to ask for technical difficulties. I did try, but Linda, do feel free. You will receive an email after this, so do feel free to post your questions, and we know you quite well, so we're very, very happy to talk outside of this. Yes, for those of you who have offers to study with us, obviously, please do let us know how that's going. For those of you who are confirmed, obviously you will receive more information as we go through the summer, things like reading lists, but also you'll be hearing from our accommodation team, and we'll be kind of the welcome team will be getting in touch with you as well. I think all that's left to say is thank you for your time. I think I'll let everyone say goodbye, and we'll let everyone go. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. All the best.